Hey, and we're working on the Theory Workbook Level 1A, pages 5 to 8. So starting in page 5. So this part's not too hard. Page 5 is focusing on the musical staff and looking at line notes versus space notes. So we talked about in the first lecture navigating all these lines, these different lines. And it doesn't matter what clef sign you're looking at. It could be treble clef or bass clef. But they're just looking at location. So this is your first line, the most bottom one, second line, third line, fourth. So you're just numbering from the bottom up. And then same with the spaces. So in between spaces, first space, second space, third space, fourth space. All right, so the first part that you have to do, they give you some examples. You're just identifying by whether it's a line note or space note and then which line or space. So like this one, they say that's the second line. So you're just counting up 1, 2, second line, 1, 2, third space, right? And this would be the first space. So you just write here 1S, right? So it's pretty simple. No big questions in there, I think. As it gets harder, yeah, you'll just notice they just jump around more, but you're just counting which line or space. At the bottom, using whole notes, so these notes just circles without stems, right? No extra lines on there. Draw the corresponding line in space notes indicated in the following exercises. There is a typo right here, so the first one is correct, that's first line, but if you look at that one, that's the first space, that's not the second space. So you can cross it out if you want to, it's actually first space, so you don't confuse yourself. So third space, you're just counting 1, 2, 3, so you're just drawing a note inside there. You don't have to, as you're looking at these printed notes, they get darker shading on the sides and lighter in the middle. You don't have to do that. Just a big circle is good. Okay, and just fit it inside the space or around the line. All right, so that part's not hard. Moving on to page 6, mastering treble clef. So this is that G clef, right? And it shows you that G exactly. That's, if you have treble clef, second line from the bottom, that is a G. And then they're reminding you what C, D, E, F, G looks like, right? All those 5 notes. And those are just your right-hand notes, right? Not too difficult. Just remember your C always looks like this. It has that extra little line. That's middle C, D, E, F, G. So this page is just asking you, and you can read through any of this stuff. They're just reminding you what it looks like. What you're doing is the bottom of the page, learn to recognize the look and placement of each note on the staff. So the first part is just circle the C's. So look for middle C, right? Extra line, there's one, there's one. So you're just drawing a circle around the note, right? It's pretty easy. There should be a bunch in each line. The next part is circling the D's, circling the F's, the E's, the G's, right? So just work through that bottom part. They are all treble clef, right? So they should just be the same pattern as you're working through those. Page 7, similarly, it's all about treble clef. They're reminding you again, these memory devices, but pretty much you're still just working through C, D, E, F, and G. There's nothing else that's going to pop in yet. So as you're doing this part, write the name of each note. This is just C, this one, right? So as you're counting C, D, E, F, G, you can, however you want to do it, you can work with that every good boy does fine, whatever makes sense for you, but this is an E. Right, so as you get used to this, they say that first line is just C, D, and E. Once you get a few of them, just use what you've got, right? Just remember, you can even go through and say, oh, that's a C, and that's a C, and that's, you can just do all the C's first. It's just to really get familiar with what each letter looks like. Expand your answers to include F, so sometimes that F will pop in there, but then that's still C, that's still D. Nothing else changes. Towards the bottom, you're including G's, so there's 5 possible letter answers for these questions. All right, page 8. Still the treble clef, similar stuff. Write the name of the space notes, right? Now they want you to use as few crutches as possible, just remembering which one's which. The two possible letters are basically D and F, so which one's which, right, as you're going across. And then concentrating on the line notes. Similarly, there's only 3 possibilities. You know that one, right? And you can focus if you want to each day, really focus on remembering a specific note. Like today, I'm going to really look at G's. When I see a G, I'm going to say that's a G. I know exactly what those look like. And then continuing to name. And these are all treble clef, so not too scary. The next round will be bass clef. So just making sure that you're really good at treble clef before you move on to bass clef. All right, thanks, that's it.